Okay, so have you ever like gotten so close to landing a government contract
Mm-hmm.
only to have it like fall apart
Yeah.
because of some tiny paperwork snafu with sam.gov?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
I've heard those stories.
Yeah,
Ugh.
it's like the worst.
Yeah.
Well, the feds actually just made some changes to sam.gov registration, and it might just make everyone's lives a little bit easier.
Okay.
So we are going to dive into those in this deep dive today,
Yeah.
and hopefully you can leave here
Right.
feeling a little bit more confident and a little bit less stressed.
Yeah, exactly. Because who needs,
Like a whole process.
yeah, who needs that extra stress, right?
No one needs that extra stress,
Especially with government contracts.
especially with government contracts. I mean, come on.
So many other things to be stressed about. I
Exactly.
think this is a welcome change.
So just to kind of set the stage here,
Yeah,
we're talking about the System for Award Management,
that's right.
sam.gov.
You know the website you love to hate?
Yeah.
But it's essential. If you want to do business with the government, this is
It's a necessary evil.
it's a necessary evil. It is the portal.
It is.
So
Okay.
this change is all about timing.
Okay.
Before, you had to be registered in sam.gov
From the get-go.
from the moment you submitted a bid
Right.
all the way until the contract was awarded. But now you
Yeah.
only need an active registration
Okay.
when you submit that bid
Got it.
and when the contract is actually awarded. So
Interesting.
there's a little window there.
So kind of like, you don't need your driver's license to go and like test drive a car,
Yeah.
but you absolutely need it to sign on that dotted line
To drive it off the lot.
and drive it off the lot. Exactly.
So it could streamline things, right?
Yeah. I mean, it seems like it's at least geared towards making it a little bit less
Right.
stressful.
A little less daunting, for
Mhm.
sure.
Yeah.
Especially for those smaller businesses,
Right. Who don't have a whole team
who don't have a whole legal team dedicated to just sam.gov,
just to keep up with that stuff.
It's a full-time job.
Yeah, exactly.
For some folks.
So it's not a complete overhaul, though, right?
Right.
There are still some
A
things
lot of free-for-all.
that haven't changed.
Yeah, exactly. You still
Okay.
absolutely need to be registered before you submit a bid.
Okay.
No getting around that.
So that's
That's a
hard line.
and fast rule.
Yep. And an active registration is still mandatory
Okay.
throughout, the time you're working on the contract,
So performance.
performance,
Yeah.
and you get to the final payment, you still got to have it.
So the whole life of the contract, basically.
The whole life of the contract.
You got to have it.
You got to have it, yeah.
All day.
And FR clause 52.20413,
The one about SAM registration
that's the one.
still applies.
Still applies.
So that's still in effect.
Still in effect.
Okay,
So nothing's changed there. This is good.
But
It's like, I was thinking about it. Like,
yeah.
you get your passport
Mm-hmm.
before you travel.
Okay.
You need to have it, like, in hand to book the trip,
Right.
to board the plane.
Yep.
But it's like, this rule is letting you renew your passport while you're actually on vacation.
I like that analogy.
As long as it's valid
Yeah.
for, like, your return flight
Right.
and, whatever travel plans
Makes sense.
you have coming up.
Yeah.
So-
So for our listeners
Yeah.
who work with the government or are thinking about it,
Right.
what are some things that they should be thinking about now?
Yeah. What are our key takeaways here?
Takeaways.
Yeah.
Oh, first of all,
Yeah.
don't procrastinate.
Don't wait till the last minute.
Don't wait till the last minute to get that SAM registration done.
The worst.
Yeah.
I've heard so many
It's the worst.
horror stories.
Yeah, you never know what kind of processing hiccups you're going to run into.
Exactly. Because it's not like a
Yeah.
set it and forget it kind of thing either, is it?
No.
Like you can't
You're
just,
going to keep an eye on
you
it.
got to make sure it's
You really do.
up to date.
You got to regularly check that SAM registration status.
Yeah.
I mean, set a reminder on your phone, put it on your calendar.
Yeah.
Whatever works for you.
Put a sticky note on your computer.
Flippy note on the dog.
Whatever you got to do.
But seriously,
Make sure you're checking it.
check it.
Hey, baby.
And speaking of things, you got to check.
Yeah.
FAR clause 52.20413.
That's the one
Don't just skim it.
about the SAM
Yeah.
registration.
You got to dive in.
Yeah.
Really understand it.
It's your roadmap
It is your roadmap to staying compliant
to not getting in trouble
throughout this whole process.
with the feds.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so that's
That's like your homework.
super important.
We're
Like,
gonna redo the FAR.
make sure you have all your
Yeah.
ducks in a row.
You're dotting your I's and crossing your T's.
Exactly.
Okay.
But here's what I thought was really interesting.
Okay.
It's that,
Yeah.
like we were saying before,
Mhm.
that a single GAO decision can have such a big impact.
Right.
Like how many other seemingly small rules
Oh, that's a really good
or
point.
interpretations
Yeah.
are like flying under the radar.
Could be hidden opportunities.
Right. Or on the flip
Such
side, pitfalls
Agreed.
that we don't even know about.
Lurking in the fine
Because
print.
we're not even thinking about.
Right.
Like, it's so important to stay informed.
It is.
Not just about, like,
Not just the big headlines.
the big
Policy changes.
policy changes,
Right.
but also, like, the nuances
The nuances.
of how these regulations
Yeah.
are actually interpreted
The interpretation.
and applied.
Because that's where the rubber meets the road.
Right.
That's where the action is.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
the
Like they
takeaway, for me at least,
Yeah. Is that
it's a dynamic process.
this is
This is government contracting.
a dynamic.
It's not static. You can't just learn the rules once and be done.
Right. It's not like you learn it once
Stay on top of it.
and you're good to go.
Yeah, you got to keep learning.
It's always evolving.
Absolutely.
And-
Engaged.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's why we do these deep dives
That's right.
to help you stay
To keep you in the loop.
informed and engaged.
That's it.
So as you continue on your
On your journey.
government contracting journey,
through this world.
remember that
the
sometimes
smallest details
it's the smallest
Like I said.
details that can trip you up.
can have the biggest impacts.
So keep learning.
Stay curious.
Stay curious
Yeah,
and
that's-
never
underestimate the power
underestimate the power
of a good deep dive.
of a deep dive.
That's right.
That's right.
Okay.
All right. That's it for today. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.